Welcome back, everybody, to DS Pokemon. On today's episode of the Binder Overview series, we'll be looking at Detective Pikachu. What makes this binder different than our prior binders is that we don't actually have it created yet. So I'm going to kind of go over what I do and where I get it all from. So let's jump right into it. So starting off here, we're going to start off with this simple little half-inch binder. Because looking at the Excel sheet that I have for this one, it looks like we only have 19 cards to worry about. I need to move myself here. So, looking at this snazzy little Excel sheet here, you can see that Detective Pikachu here has 18 total cards. So we're looking at what? Two sheets maybe, tops. This whole binder is going to be kind of a little bit wasted, but that's okay. That's okay. So what we will do here is we'll go into this set. So look at the spreadsheet here. We can see that there's 18 total cards. So 1 through 18. We currently have a Magikarp card, but Boyo got it from a friend in a trade, and it's honestly a really terrible looking card. Which is why I gave it a capital X here instead of a lowercase x, as I tend to do. So hopefully we'll find a replacement for that card, because it's rough. But this is what I use to come up with the numbering for our cards. But if we were to look at Unbroken Bonds, for example, here, you can see that there's an unlimited set, which this is typically your actual standard cards, your GXs, your commons, uncommons, rares, your holo rares, your Vs, VMAXs, etc., to include your secret rare cards, which are down here. So your full arts and gold cards and rainbow cards and whatnot. They're all in here. Now, but what you see here as a difference is that this set is colored yellow, and this set, for part of it, is colored yellow. And there's cards here that it skips. So this section here is the reverse holo section. So these are the cards that there is a reverse holo variant for them. But cards like this, for example, which are, in this case, a Venomoth GX, which actually we should be able to see it over here. So you can see here, this is it's a full art GX card. So now if you were to look at this though, from what it looks like for modern sets anyways, the reverse holo is, instead of the picture being holo, the card outline is holo. In this instance, if this were to be a rare holo card, the image in the square here would be holographic. But in a reverse holo, it's the outside of the card that is the holographic. It's the green text area here, while the card stays just a printed image. So obviously in this instance with the GX cards, well, the whole card is the picture. So there really isn't anything to reverse. So it looks like they just skip over those types of cards. And seeing as this also includes all of the secret rares, all of these do not have a reverse holo variant. And then if you're looking at these other two rows, wondering what these are, these reference more your base set, fossil sets, gym heroes, those original series where they actually did first edition cards and the shadowless cards. For later packs past base set, it's usually just the first editions and the unlimiteds. But I want to say it was after the Neo line going into the, I think it's EX, they started doing just the unlimited and reverse holos. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Back to Detective Pikachu here. Our goal here is actually to get this binder set up. So what I also tend to do here, do I even have a Detective Pikachu checklist? I don't think I do. So actually I need to go ahead and download that really quick. So it looks like for most of the modern sets going into EX, they actually have them all listed on here. So we are looking in this instance for Detective Pikachu, but like I said, if you load up the rest of the screen here, you can see it goes pretty far past Black and White into the Diamond and Pearls and down into these EX series. But back to our instance here, we are looking for Detective Pikachu. So let's see if they actually have it. This is not one that I've looked up yet. So if you click on it, you can come over here to the side, and they have a card checklist. This is usually what I download and stick on the front of our binders. So I'm gonna go ahead and download this now and get it saved so we have this for later. So we're gonna save that for starters. And then we're gonna go ahead and get this printed out because we're gonna need to print it out. The other thing that I do is I go to this site here called Card Maven, and they list off all the set symbols. And so if you actually go to the set symbol, Detective Pikachu for example, they have this really neat looking image here. So I usually come here and I copy these images. So pop into this little Word doc here. As you can see here, I've got all of our card binders. I just recently went through and upgraded these larger sets here to the 1-inch binders I got in. So we will see those in coming videos. I think you should have actually seen it in the last video since I got this done for the Unbroken Bonds. As you can see here, I did the Unbroken Bonds binder already. So we're gonna start off here by pasting this in here. And it comes in really fat. So for these 1-inch binders, I have the grid lines turned on. Grid lines. So I turn the grid lines on, and that's what makes this little grid in the background. So I figured out that the 1-inch binders fit a 7 square chunk. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, I'm one too big. So a 5 square chunk. Let me move this text back down to this one since these are not actually mounted to the image. They're just sitting over the top of it. And this is just a clip art text is all it is. So I then take this on these smaller binders since I like the way it looked. The bigger binders, it looked like it stretched okay without deforming the image too much. But on the smaller size, if you stretched it all the way out, it didn't look good. And so I had determined that I liked it better just doubling it up. So the issue with this is we just got to kind of bounce the image size just a little bit to get them to line up on the same line. Or did I be still too big? Oh, there we go. If you're looking over here, it's not quite making it to the end, so we'll adjust that. But now but now, see, now there's a small white line there, which I don't want. So I'm gonna see if I can't tweak it. There we go, perfect. We'll now copy this number above here, line it up, and call it number 84, like it is. This saved, and I will print this out as well. Now that we have that all printed out, let's move my face back. Oh, let's move my face back. Boop. Okay. So, looking at this, we now have our printout for our binder, as well as our printout for the front of our binder. So this will just nicely slide in here. A nice official Pokemon card checklist. And now for the difficult part, which it looks like I put my tools away. So I would not be surprised if they actually make something for this, but doing these binder stems is a real pain in the butt. But I took one of these, I think this was like a Sudden Link or something card thing I got in the mail. But it was a nice sturdy plastic, so I just kind of cut it into some slips, and I will feed this into the binder. Oh, did not come out the right spot there. There we go. And I have 2 more that I made here to kind of help me, because I was having issues with the paper getting stuck. So I kind of use these ones as ways to keep the corners down on the sides as I am fishing the paper through, which you should be able to see here in just a second. But we will then take our handy dandy scissors. Arts and crafts with dad, yeah. So now that we have this nice little thing printed out, what I had learned here is just with a little bit of Scotch tape, just simply tape it to the end of our thing here. Oh, as I'm doing this off screen, just make sure you get a good bit of plastic contact with the hard piece of plastic, and make sure it's nice and squished. I then go ahead and just tape it right here to the paper. Again, make sure it's kind of nice and flat on there. And then, really more complicated part, which is where we now pull the paper through, make sure it stays below my little plastic lines here to kind of, again, help keep the paper, see, it'll do that on the actual plastic binder if we are not careful, and it'll bend and mess up our paper. So once we are in, we can remove these, and now you can see, just give it a nice little pull through here. Right into our binder, get it right up here to the end. So I try to get it as even on the end of here as I can, and then I simply put some pressure on the paper and just lift up on the tape. And just like that. Oh, actually, I lied. So as you can see here, the paper actually popped up on me. So that's another place where these little plastic things come in handy. Rework it back in there without doing too much damage. So just kind of lift up on the plastic and squish your paper back down. And maybe just some minor shifting here to try to keep it as even as I can, and boom, just like that, we have a very nice clean binder ready to go. Then we need a couple pages. So in this instance, they'll hold 9 cards each, so we should only need 2 for this binder, but 2 we will do. I will pinch that off. I will grab my handy dandy Sharpie and put my lovely, lovely handwriting all over these things. And then now it's just a matter of taking our horrible looking Magikarp card here. So again, we had received this, he had got this from one of his friends in a trade, but it is definitely rough for wear and not really a card that I would like to keep in our binders permanently. But so this happens to be card number 8, so we would simply just go to number 8 and slide this bad boy in there. Oh, so something I forgot to do is I did not go ahead, and since it's such a small binder, I figured I can go ahead and show off this horribly tedious process that I have here. So I have this army collection of white sleeves that I use for the binders. So let's go ahead and get out the 18 of these that we're probably getting, well, 17. So we simply just go through here and I slide all of these into the things individually. It is such a fun process, but I can't argue that it does make the binder videos look, or shoot, any of the videos that involve the binder look that much better. This is what I do for every binder that we do and every binder that we complete, is I go through and I put these sleeves in, and then when we're done with that binder, I go back through and remove them all. As I only have so many of these. I have acquired a lot more, to be honest. But I definitely do not have enough of these just to leave in all of our binders. So these are actually the Eclipse sleeves, which I guess I can probably go ahead and just show you right here. These are the standard size Eclipse Deck Protector sleeves. So unfortunately, these are about $10 a pack. And seeing as a lot of these sets are 300 to 400 cards a binder, you know, obviously it gets a little pricey there just to buy sleeves to make the binders look good. I don't know if I'm actually gonna ever buy enough to fill all the binders out, especially as we are removing them as we go. And I don't necessarily foresee us making too many additional binders beyond the initial runs here. But I do have quite a few where I should be able to do, you know, at least 2 or 3 binders at a time. That way I'm not constantly having to rip and move and run around. But I guess we'll see how things progress. But there you have it. Nice and complete. Detective Pikachu binder done. It looks like with Detective Pikachu binder done, next week we should be doing a team up. So that's a super cool set that I know Kiddo is looking forward to. He very, very much likes the tag team cards. So that will be for next week's. But if you enjoyed our video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to be notified of our future videos. And we will see you Friday for our unboxing video, as well as Monday for the pack opening. But for Thursday, I want to say I've got both the Pikachu figure collection box, Mewtwo, and the Greninja box. And then I also have the Pikachu case file. So we should have 4 Detective Pikachu products. I think the only one we don't have, or 2 that we don't have, is the Charizard box, the collection lunchbox tin. But if I come across those, I will let you guys know. Yes, so with those 4 boxes, we also have 2 of the Darkness Ablaze blister packs with promos, and then 2 of the Sun and Moon Rebel Clash pin blisters. So we'll get yet another Charizard pin. So we will see you Friday for that unboxing. Bye!